Hello Queens, what is up? I am Gina, aka the Gina Chew, and welcome to yet another stream. So today I decided to do something a little bit different. So you guys know that I have a weekly board gaming group that with my friends we meet up every Friday. My goodness. And we play board games and card games and all that kind of stuff. We have been doing that digitally for the past month or so since all of this, stuff with COVID started. We've been playing a lot of Jackbox games. We've been playing a lot of board games that are available on Steam, which you guys have seen me play a couple of those on stream before. But we've also been indulging in some Tabletop Simulator, which I kind of forgot I even had. But what's cool about Tabletop Simulator is that people make mods for it that are basically, board games in real life, or they make their own, but there's, they have board games, and you can just, download the mods for free and play a bunch of these cool board games that don't technically have digital versions, which is kind of cool. So I downloaded a bunch. I downloaded a bunch of backgrounds because it is like a digital room, and you can like put custom backgrounds and stuff. So I downloaded a bunch of fun backgrounds that I wanted to check out, and I downloaded a bunch of games, and I figured I would show you some of my favorite board games and kind of explain to you how they work a little bit. See if you guys would be interested in any. If you own Tabletop Simulator, you can look and download them, or you can get the actual physical copy of them. And I thought that being that we're all in our houses now, not really doing much of anything, it might be cool to share with you some of the ways that I like to pass the time. Board gaming is one of my favorite hobbies in the whole entire world. I love it. It's what I love to do. And I get to do it with my friends every week, which is awesome. But we have done this digitally lately. So I'm going to start with Tabletop Simulator. I've never played it. I don't know how to use it. So I don't have any settings set up. It might be a little loud. I may have to mess with like the sound and stuff. I don't know how to do anything, so the start of this might be a little rough, but I wanted to jump into it for the first time. I'm also going to see if Slob's Streamlabs OBS will pick up on Tabletop Simulator. I forgot that Tabletop Simulator also has a VR component to it. I forgot. I don't have a VR headset though, but that's cool to know. Alright, let's see if it picks up on it. It may take moments to pick up on it. I'm just gonna look and see. Hold on. My playback is really delayed for some reason. Cool! Okay, cool. We have board game. So it looks like there is a quick tutorial. Should probably play that, so let's do that. Let's see. I'll go to the tutorial. Please pick up a card with the left mouse button. Okay. Now you add that card to the deck. You'll need to flip it with F so it stacks. Okay. Right, second. Now pull one card away from the deck, left click, and quickly drag away from the deck. Okay. Okay, so if I hold it, I can pick up the whole thing. Now shuffle the deck. Oh! I shake the deck I shake the mouse while holding down the button to shuffle the deck. That's cute. That's cute. I kind of love it. Drop a single card above the white name on the table. When a card is in your hand, the players cannot see what it is. Okay. That's my card. Let's roll some dice. Okay, while holding the dice shake. Oh my god. Okay, so I love dice. I'm obsessed with dice. I have a dice collection. I collect them. I love them. I'm obsessed. I'll show you one of my newest dice acquisitions that somebody got me for Christmas. This is not really a set that's meant to be played with. It's really meant to be kind of kept as like a collector's thing. but it is a set of, you know, the regular 7, you know, tabletop Dungeons and Dragons style dice, but it has silver outlining. I don't know how well this is going to... show up, but it's like blue. I'm looking at the playback, but it's like a blue, a very deep blue, and it actually is, if you get close up to it, really sparkly. That's the D8 in the pack, but yeah. And they all come in their little individual baggies because they're really not meant to be used, they're meant to be displayed. But I collect dice. I have lots of different kinds of dice. I love dice. I'm obsessed with dice. And really the only thing that I'm kind of really sad about, or really the major thing I'm sad about with playing board games digitally, is you don't get that feeling of picking up the dice and shaking them in your hand and rolling them, especially if you play a game where you get to roll a bunch of dice at the same time. It's so satisfying. So I kind of like that. Alright, here we go. Oh. Whoopsie doodles. I do that way too often in real life too. Okay, here we go. I rolled a 6. Okay. Rotate the camera. Hold down the right mouse button and move. Oh, okay. Ooh. Ooh, that's nice and smooth. Okay. Alright, so, oh, cool. Okay, so I can look and see who's playing there. That's my Steam icon and my name, so you can see who's sitting where. Time to move those feet. Use WASD to pan the camera around. Oh, I'm dancing around the table in this weird plane of existence. And I can... space to reset the camera. Cool. Hold Alt while micing. Oh, okay. Okay, so this gives me a better angle of what exactly the piece looks like up close. I can do that with the dice too. Alright, cool. That'll be good for like games that have like a lot of text on the bottom of cards. Time to rotate an object. Grab the mouse over one of the objects and then use Q or E to rotate it. Okay. Cool. Let's pick up more than one object. An object, then press right mouse or T on another object. Oh dear. You can also grab more than one object by left clicking and dragging a box selection. Oh, you mean like, like selecting, gotcha, cool. Alright, question mark or slide would be okay with all the controls. Open and close this menu to proceed. Optionally, you can press escape and then click help menu. Whoa! Time for some mayhem. Press the flip button on the top bar. Oh my god, there's a table flip button! Oh! Guys. Okay, this is officially the achievement unlocked. Did you do it? This is officially the greatest game I've ever played. Literally, you can do a table flip. I don't know about modding. I don't know how easy it is to create stuff. I'm not really a game designer anyway. Attach, fixed joint, hinge joint, spring joint. Flick, I can flick things. I can draw a line, which I bet if you're playing like D&D, you can use like line of sight and stuff. Zone, hidden, randomize, hands, fog of war, scripting. This is more like for creation, it looks like. Vector paints, this is for like drawing if you have a game that you need to draw on, or like, I know that you could draw on like character sheets and stuff in this game. There's a lot of stuff. I can leave by clicking the menu button at the top bar and then click main menu. Okay. Okay, so I believe every game comes with like its own background and stuff, but I kind of want to play with the backgrounds first, so. These are some games that it comes with. The workshop is what I need to look at. So let's start with custom. Alright, so this is the first place it starts with. This is our background. But I want to play with some other backgrounds, so I have to figure out how to change the background. Backgrounds. So here's the thing is I have them down, like I have them modded. Up the game volume a little bit. It's actually a little low to me. Let me look up how to do this because I was looking it up earlier. And actually, you know what? I should be able to actually Alt-Tab out of this. And you should still see the game, or maybe not, but you shouldn't be able to see my desktop, so. Let's see. Oh, workshop. Okay, so this is what I was looking for. So let's look at some backgrounds. Okay. Oh, this is kind of cool. Okay, so this is one that I downloaded. This is the College of Winterhold in Skyrim. I thought this would be kind of a cute idea for some place to, like, play. So that's one of the backgrounds I downloaded. Okay, this is kind of cool. This is a Milky Way background. It's also giving me random tables. It's just like we're floating in space, which, you know, I love me some space, so I think it's pretty great. This actually looks really nice. I bet you in VR this would look fucking sick. I bet you it would look sickening. Here's another one that I thought would be kind of cute. This is the Island of Mist. Did any of y'all play Myst? Because Myst came out when, like, I was a kid. I'm old. But I used to wander around Mist Island for ages because I didn't really get the puzzles. I wasn't really old enough to, like, understand the puzzles that well. I just thought it was such a cool concept. Like, I can go on this island and go to these places, and there's all these buttons and things to interact with and things to uncover and explore, and I just didn't really understand it. But I thought this would be kind of a cute background to play a game in as well, because when I think of, like, old school gaming, like, Myst is definitely one of the things that that pops up. Here is another one. Again, you're gonna see what these are before they load, but this is, again, from Skyrim. This is the Ragged Flagon, which, if you don't know what the Ragged Flagon is, it is a bar in a tavern, I guess, underneath Riften that also doubles as the home of the Thieves Guild. So this is kind of cute. It's like, you know, we're just sitting here right out of the water on a table, just, you know, playing, being our little thievy selves. That's kind of cute. Here's another one from Skyrim. This is the Winking Skeever, which is another well-known and well-loved tavern in Skyrim. Again, I just like the kind of medieval tavern feel. This one doesn't look as cool as I hoped that it would. This is a little bit of an odd place to put it in the Winking Skeever. I would have been, like, closer to the bar. I would have liked being a little closer to the bar, but I think it's really cute. Hey, Coins, what is up? How are ya? I'm showing backgrounds that I downloaded. Here's another Skyrim one. There was quite a number of Skyrim ones, and you guys know I love Skyrim. We all love Skyrim here. This is the library, the Arcanium, and the College of Winterhold. You know I love books. You know I love libraries. So I thought this would be kind of cool. Again, kind of a weird place in the Arcanium to be sitting. I would have liked to have sat in the middle area more, but I think this is a cute background. Well, thanks for popping in and saying hi. And you can also kind of see some of the games I'm going to show you, but I'll load them up. If you don't know what they are, you'll see.
I pledge my strength to the lady.
Oh, Coits, thank you so much for the sub. I appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. That means a lot. Thank you. So this is Star Trek Holodeck. I don't really talk about Star Trek a whole ton. We have played one of the old point-and-click adventures, the 25th anniversary game on stream, but I do enjoy Star Trek. The Next Generation was like, well, I like the Next Generation, but the original Star Trek was actually, I think I've told this story before. I was at my uncle's when I was a kid, and it was like a summer day, and it was really hot outside, and I was bored, so I went inside to watch TV, and my parents let me because it kept me quiet, and there was an original, like, Star Trek, the original series, a marathon going on, and I was just transfixed by it, and I just did not want to leave, because I'm like, this show is so cool, you know. So, like, I have very vivid memories of Star Trek, so, like, I thought the Star Trek holodeck would be, like, kind of a cool place to play a game, so I thought that would be a fun one to download. Let's see which, this one, if you are a fan of the stream, you're gonna enjoy it. This is the starting apartment from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I saw this in the workshop, and I've never clicked so fast in my entire life. I was like, yes, please, can I has? This, I think, is really, really fun. Like, especially if I were able to get, like, a vampire, like, game, like a White Wolf Vampire, like, board game, or, like, a, you know, anything of that nature, like, to get, to play, this would be the perfect background, because, I mean, you know, it's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It's like one of the greatest games ever. So I saw that, and it felt like I had to download it. Back to my sci-fi obsession. Here's the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. Again, weird kind of place to play a game, but I think it's kind of cool. You know, we could just... Oh, there's some shit going... I think that's some kind of galaxy or something, and not necessarily fire. I was gonna be like, there's some shit going on outside the window. What the fuck? So that was one that I downloaded. This one just kind of looked cool. Ah, yeah, it is cool. Yeah, this is like this, like, synthy, like, neon-looking area. This is cool. I like this. This would be good for, like, general board game-ness. I like it. And again, another one that would look amazing in VR. Let's see. This one is a real-life place. This is a library. The picture is not very good quality, so I'm probably going to uninstall this one. I thought it would be better quality than this, but I just thought it would be cool to have a library. That one I don't like. Least favorite so far, sorry. And this one, again, just looked really cool. This looks like it's more like a club, but, again, the quality of the photo is not so great. Okay, and all that is over there is the game. So that's all the backgrounds. So let's pop back out of the main menu, and now I'm gonna show you guys some of my favorite board games that I've downloaded here. I'll tell you a little bit about them, what kind of game they are, and yeah, just go into a little bit of detail. Why are people messaging me every time? Every time I stream, you guys know that this is a problem for me. Okay. Anyway. So, we're gonna pop into the workshop. I want to see what this game has to offer as well. Maybe we should do that first, actually. Alright, so it comes with backgammon, Chinese checkers, just regular dice, chess, some kind of tools? What exactly is tools? I'm curious. Okay, it looks like we're here in... It looks like it is... I don't know if it's picking random backgrounds or what, but it looks like that is... Okay, so this might be cool for, like, VR. This looks like a stopwatch. Yeah, there we go. That's like a stopwatch. This looks like a clock. A calculator. A bag with nothing in a bag that has infinite. Deal to red. Interesting. Right click on the snow card, name the field controls. It also works. Okay. Oh, this is some music. Okay. And this is a web browser. So yeah, this looks like just some general stuff that you would want to use, like... Yeah. So it looks like it also randomizes where they are. But anyway, Pachisi, Poker, Reversi. It has Reversi. $599 US. Okay. Solitaire. I do love me some Solitaire. You can obviously create a custom one. We played with that before. We've got general cards, general RPG setting, dominoes, a jigsaw puzzle. Jigsaw puzzles would be kind of cool to play. I wonder if there are any there. Anyway. Checkers, Mahjong. I don't know what Cardbots is. I don't know what Peace Pack is. This looks like just a building sandbox. And of course, Go! So yeah, that looks like that's what it comes with. DLC. Okay, this is stuff that we need to buy, it looks like. Yeah, it's gonna want us to buy it. So it looks like this is probably like officially made content. It's probably really nice quality. Okay. So that's kind of interesting. But I'm interested to see what they have here. And see if I know any of these games. So let me take a quick look. I've heard of Mistfall. I've heard of Wingspan too. I know Wingspan. I've never played it, but I know of Wingspan. Pillars of Eternity. You've heard of? Oh. Red Dragon Inn Battle for Greyport. Not sure what that is, but Red Dragon Inn is a thing that I'm going to show you. Super Fight I've heard of. Super Fight I've actually played this game. So I was like, wait, I've heard of that game. Wait, I've played that game. It is a card game, a little in the vein of Cards Against Humanity, where through some combination of like you and other people, you pick like a person, and then like I think you also pick like a superhero ability and then like a super flaw, and then people have to vote on like who would win in a fight between those two people. So it's one of those kind of like Cards Against Humanity style games. I had a lot of fun with it when I played it. Cosmic Encounter! Or as my friends and I like to call it, Nipple Ships. Let me see if I can show you why we like to call it Nipple Ships. Do they not have the nipple ships here? Okay, they kind of do. It's a little hard to see, but like these little circles represent your ships. It looks like they pick different icons for them in the digital version, but the ships are like little, they look like little flying saucers, so they have like a little like, you know, circle part in the middle that like pops up and it looks like a nipple. So my friends and I call Cosmic Encounter Nipple Ships. Fun game though. Kind of heavy strategy, and basically what it is you're trying to like conquer planets in other people's part of the galaxy, but like if you decide to attack somebody, like you and the person that you're attacking can try to like wheel and deal with other players to get them to side with you against the other person. And then you have like a hand of cards and they have like certain attacks, or it'll be like, oh, I wasn't really attacking you, I was just bluffing, and like depending on what card you play depends on how the fight resolves. And it has a lot of it has a big social engineering aspect to it, meaning that like part of the game is in how you interact with and manipulate the other players. It's a fun game. I like Cosmic Encounter. It's been a long time since I've played it, though. Scythe I've heard of, never played it. I've heard it's good though. I think that's really all the ones that I've really heard of or have any you know, experience with. Alright, so let's start here. Okay, so oh, okay, it doesn't have this background, so it's just gonna give me a random one. Oh, cool, we're in a forest. Okay, so this game is Dragon Strike. I hope you know what Dragon Strike is. If you don't, definitely look it up on YouTube, because it is a kind of dungeon crawler, kind of Dungeons and Dragons-ish board game. But it was very well known for the cassette tape that it came with, filled with these lovely actors acting as these characters. And it is incredibly cheesy and wonderful. The Spoony one did a review of the video. The Angry Video Game Nerd did a review of it in his Board James series. I've played this game before. My good friend Mr. John Berube, who you may have seen on stream and in like the team streams I do with him and GMO Gamer, he owns this game, and I've played it a couple of times, and I've ran the game once, because you have to have somebody who plays kind of like the Dungeon Master. It's a cute little game. The book that it comes with tells you how to run the adventure, so I'm not sure how that aspect is handled here, but you can see we have the wizard, the warrior, the elf, the dwarf, and then there's a male and female thief. And then this is the board, and I bet you if I flip it... Can I flip it? Maybe not. But I think there is another bar. So, yeah, so you get like spells and stuff. You can see here, like, Fireball. Third level. This spell casts a fireball in any space you can see. The fire spreads to every adjacent space. Well, you know, so it'll tell you, like, all the rules and stuff. And then up here, it looks like are the pieces. Yep. Okay, so they do actually come with physical, like, little statue pieces. But it looks like for here, they just took, like, pictures of them from, like, the box. There's the famous man scorpion, which if you watch the video, you will know what the man scorpion is. It looks like these are some bags, a valley, a castle, is there cities, a cavern. Looks like those are ways to build doors, items, and different traps and things you can run into. There's Teraptus, the villain. There's the fire elemental. Again, things that you know if you watch the video. So yeah, it looks like this seems like a pretty interesting way to play this. Here's a treasure deck and a trap deck. It looks like it starts you at the place where you would be the dungeon master. If I open up the notebook, let's see. I'm just curious as to how you. That's, I guess, like if you buy copies of the game. I'm sure there's probably ways to get to, like, the rule book somehow. Game name. Oh, yeah! Oh! You know, I've heard about this, that you can actually mess with the gravity and also change the play area, which kind of sounds funny to me. Yeah, I don't see where... Okay, you can go back, and I guess you can, like, undo turns if something goes wrong. Randomized blindfold. Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. So, like, somebody else can change stuff and you can, like, not have to look. That's cool. That's really cool. That's, I really like that. That's a cool thing. I wonder what the flick does. I want to flick a piece. Can I flick this neck? Can I flick your piece? Maybe they're not flickable. Maybe you have to program them to be flickable. Anyway, yeah, Dragon Strike is kind of a cool game. It does have like a Dungeon Master sort of thing. To get it physically would probably be really difficult because it is very old, but this would be, I think, an interesting way to play it. I could see this game being playable as long as you find some way to get the book. You need the book to run the adventure. You could probably find a PDF of it online pretty quickly. I know some of the games that people have programmed into Tabletop Simulator come with like the instruction manual and the books, and some of them don't. Some games are very dependent on books. This is one of them. So you might have to get a PDF of it, but it seems like this would be a pretty solid way to play the game, from what I can tell. It's been many years since I played this game. And it's now just occurring to me that a good way to go through these tabletop games after showing them to you would be to just flip the fucking table. Goodbye! Goodbye, Teraptus! Goodbye, Dragon Strike. I'm gonna fall into the ether. Oh, and it even gives you information here. A hero's turn, cast a spell, search for treasure. That's kind of cool. Like, make a note. Yeah, I guess because I'm the host, it figures that I'm running the game. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So let's back out and create another single player game, and I'll show you the next game. And that is going to be, well, I'm kind of interested in... Yeah, let's load it up. This is an old game. I don't know if I'm ever going to actually play this. Oh, we're out here in the street. Fantastic. I don't know if I'm ever going to play this game, but I do love Life. If you don't know what Life is, it is a very old game. I think it said you have to... Oh, that's how you flick stuff. Oh, yeah. That's how you flick it. Yeah, I saw somebody saying that this was like difficult to spin. Okay, you have to flick that. Okay. So basically what it is it's like a life simulation game. You start here at the beginning, and then you can choose like whether to go to college or just start a job. And then you go through life and you land on stuff and basically see if you can live a better life than someone else. I've always really liked Life. This is actually a newer version of the game. This game has like salary cards and house deeds where you like pick your career. It was never that complicated when I was a kid, but I always really liked playing Life. We had a version of it at my house and I played it all the time as a kid. In the physical version, these buildings here are like actual physical buildings that like pop up. And you could kind of see here, let me zoom in, that there's creases in the board here and here, so that when you fold the board over, it actually makes room for these to stay in place on the board, so you don't have to take them out of the board every time. You can just fold it over, and instead of just folding completely flat, it just has like, you know, space in between. So they actually designed the board that way, which is kind of cool. But yeah, basically you just try to make a lot of money. You can have kids. You can do all different kinds of things in this game. Life, the only game where you can... where else layman can succeed at something called Life. Yeah, really. It's definitely a lot easier than actual life. You know, and it's forcing you to, like, get married. Forcing you to buy a house. You know, stuff like that. So yeah, Life's pretty simple. Pretty, generic. And, yeah. So that's Life. This is all of us right now, just waving goodbye to our lives, being flipped and falling into the ether. Alright, let's go back into the review. Let's see. Those are backgrounds. Here's another classic old-timey game, Clue. Okay, and it looks like this is a custom background for it, probably. This looks like a place where I would want to play Clue. For sure, for sure. So for those of you who don't know what Clue is, it is a really awesome game. Where basically you play one of 6 characters, and you get to go into rooms, and then you get to kind of investigate and try to find out who committed this murder. You get to pick the person that did it, the weapon they did it with, and where they did it, and then you go around the table and people try to see if they have a card in their hand that tells you, oh, well, I have the knife card in my hand, so it's not the knife, because you take the cards that are the answer and put them in this confidential thing. So yeah, it looks like, see here it says what did it say here? I saw it said before when I... Here we go. Place suspect cards between the 2 case file cards. Yeah, so I guess the way that this game is doing is you're just taking the cards, like you would turn it face down, shuffle it, take the top one, and just put these in between and like sandwich them so that you don't know what they are, and then when you're done you pull it out to see if that's the correct solution. Hey, Dr. Fat. But yeah, so it's basically like a deduction game. It is a very, very old game. You guys probably know what it is. I really love Clue. We've played a couple of different versions of Clue, actually, over the years on stream. We played the Sega Genesis version, which is like a digital version of the board game, which is super fun and cheesy. It has very, like, over-dramatic music. It's a really fun game. I owned it for the Sega Genesis, and I loved it. You love Clue? So do I. Yes, the 80s movie. The movie is also one of my favorites of all time. One of my favorites of all time. It's a really great movie. I highly suggest it. We've watched that together on a community night once before, actually. It's a great movie. But we also played an old FMV game of Clue on stream as well. We played that for our first year stream anniversary, actually, which, by the way, today's the 11th. So... we officially have less than 2 weeks till our 4-year stream anniversary, you guys. I mean, that's pretty crazy to me. Yeah, so anyway, I downloaded Clue. Maybe, you know, if some of you lovelies in the community get to pick up this game, you can download Clue and play it together. But until then, the killer was me in this room with the table flip button. That was what murdered this game. Bye! Yes, they did do multiple endings. True story. So back in the day, they used to do these things in the movie theaters. They were like these movie, like, they were like, they weren't really gags, but like people would try to do like interesting things with movies where like, where like they would have, like, if it was a horror movie, they would have like skeletons hanging from the ceiling and they would drop down in the middle of the movie. Like they used to have all of these, you know, gimmicks that they would do in movie theaters back in the day. And what they did for Clue was, if you've ever seen the movie nowadays, there's 3 different endings to it. And so what they would do is each movie theater randomly got its own ending. And so the gimmick for that was, well, if you want to see all the endings, you have to go see the movie multiple times. And that flopped really badly. But then it started airing on Comedy Central, like, many years ago, just to fill time slots, and it kind of gained like this crazy resurgence of people that like fell in love with the movie. And so now it's kind of become a cult classic. It's a great movie. And it's definitely much more enjoyable with watching all 3 endings. Because the true ending, the last one they showed you, was really the only good one. And I can't imagine how upset I would be if I paid movie to go into a movie theater and got one of the other 2 endings. You know what I mean? You sadly do not have Tabletop Simulator, huh? Yeah, they would do it to like create an atmosphere, just make it like a special experience, and so then people would be like, you have to go see this movie. When you go see it, like, you know, the seat shake, you know, like they used to do that kind of stuff a lot. Red herring, 1 + 2 + 2 + 1. Anyway, oh, okay, so here's another one that you may not have heard of, but I love this game. Image failed. Great. They just get... oh! This is actually a great background for this game. And it wants me to... Oh, does that say Secret Hitler? Okay. Secret Hitler is... Oh, no. What is it doing? Goodbye. Secret Hitler is a totally different kind of game. That is an actual board game, though. I kind of have to explain what it is now. But let me explain this first. Oh, what is this? What is this back here? You've been trapped. What is that? Oh, maybe this is, because I think this comes with, the expansion. So maybe that's the expansion stuff if you want to grab it. But basically, this game is called The Resistance. It is a social deduction game. The point of the game is that this is like a futuristic, dystopian world, and we are part of a resistance looking to overthrow the government, but a certain number of the players are actually government spies. So at the beginning of the game, you get a roll card, and it tells you whether you're a loyal member of the resistance or whether you're a spy, and then everybody takes turns being, heading off a mission to overthrow part of the government, and the person that's running the mission picks who goes on the mission, and then you vote to see whether you approve or reject the group, and then they can put down cards to either fail or succeed the mission, and you basically go through that over and over again to see if you can figure out who the spies are and who the loyal people are. So it's a social deduction game. It is... Oh, it is scripted. Okay. I'm going to have to download the scripted version of this then. I have to remember to do that. Scripted versions of this game are basically games that have like scripts built into it that like help facilitate setup and the implementation of different rules and stuff. Otherwise, you have to do all that yourself like you would if you were playing a game in real life. You've seen Geek and Sundry's tabletop episode. Yes, they did a tabletop episode of The Resistance. Felicia Day is pretty fucking masterful. But, yeah, that's the same game. Really fun game. Secret Hitler is also a social deduction game, very much similar, except that you are in, World War II Germany, and you are all, basically good people, except there are some people that are fascists, and one of the fascists is Hitler. And so, you elect a president and a chancellor each turn, and the point is to try and, if you're loyal, you want to try to stop the fascists from electing Hitler as chancellor, because that's kind of how the whole Hitler thing started. And so that's what Secret Hitler is. It is an actual game. It's a really good game. Connotations aside of, how offended or not you may be. But it's a really great game. It's a lot of fun. Played it many times. And also, my friend who owns it kickstarted it, and in the Kickstarter pack came a set of stickers that you can put over everything to rebrand it. So instead of Secret Hitler, it's Secret Trump. You can take or leave that as you will, but that is the thing that is also part of the game. We've not used that. Oh, also I should flip this, because I want to flip all the tables. But yeah. You can absolutely recommend a good video game. I can't promise that I'll play it. Oh, wow, okay, all of those fell. But I'm always down for some recommendations. But yeah, Secret Hitler's an actual game. It's a thing. It's actually for Tabletop Simulator as well. I just didn't download it because I don't think I would stream it. I think people would get very angry. Okay. So this is a game that I hope you guys have heard of. This is a weird place to play a board game. This is a game called Star Flux. It's a specific version of a game called Flux. The great thing about Flux, and this she'll probably tell you, is there are no rules to Flux. The rules are draw one, play one. There is no goal. There is no way to win the game. But as you draw cards, you will have cards that will set a goal for the game, or will add or remove rules from the game, and as you play cards, the goal constantly changes and the rules constantly change. And your job is basically to try and win in this constantly changing game of rules and goals that are constantly in flux. Do we see why it's called this? Yes, the game fluctuates, exactly. I love Flux, and I wanted to find Flux in this game. But Star Flux was really the only version that they had that I know that I've played that I've liked. I think I saw Cthulhu Flux there too, and Monty Python Flux, which I have played and I do like, but Monty Python Flux is really best played if you know a lot of Monty Python, which I don't know a lot of people that do. But let me give you guys a showing as to like what kind of cards they are. Yeah, so this is a keeper. So like that's something that you would need to win the game. Okay, it's a laser sword. Okay, so like here's a goal. No trouble at all. The player who has the teleport chamber and the cute fuzzy alien creature on the table wins. So those are keepers. So if you put this goal out, whoever has the teleport chamber or the cute fuzzy alien creature keeper on there wins. But you can also change it. There's a new rule, hand limit 2. There's another keeper, time traveler. That's definitely not a Doctor Who reference. They're very obvious references. There's a draw 3. There's a play 2. Double agenda, which lets you put out 2 goals at the same time and you only need to fulfill 1. The stars, just the actual fucking stars. Small moon. Actually, can I flip this whole thing over? Yeah, that'd be good. We're lost in space, so if you have the malfunction and the stars on the table, you win. Hand limit 1. There's a limit on keepers. Here's another new rule. Go on with it. At any time before your final play, if you are not empty-handed, you may discard your entire hand and draw 3 new cards. So there's just like a bunch of different cards and rules and stuff that gets added into this, and there's a lot of, you know, like, that's no moon. Whoever has the small moon and the space station on the table wins. So, you know, it's all themed after references of sci-fi related stuff. Is the first one a reference to Half-Life 2, The Unseen Force? I don't know. I don't know. Here's the landing party. You know, just stuff like that. Expendable Crewman is a red shirt. It's just stuff like that. It's a really fun game. I really love Flux. I think like a lot of my fellow board gaming friends that I have, like in real life, have kind of, I don't want to say outgrown Flux, but like there's more complicated, more in-depth games that we play nowadays. But I think Flux is just a lot of fun. Like if you just want like a silly, random game that you're not really hardcore going for, like who wins, and not really wanting to like get super vicious with the people that you're playing with, you know, it's a good game. I definitely recommend it. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. That seems like a really great way to play Flux too, by the way. So if you're interested, that seems like a really super solid way to play Flux. Oh, the fuzzy creature? No, I think the fuzzy creature is the reference to Tribbles from Star Trek. I believe that is what it is a reference to. Okay, here's another one of my favorites. Oh, okay, cool. So it put a little rules tablet on here to give us the rules. But I can explain to you what hardback is because I know this game and I love this game. So hardback is what is called a deck builder. Very similar to Slay the Spire, if you guys have seen me play Slay the Spire. Basically, you start with a bunch of letters, and you draw 5 cards, make a word out of them, and they're worth either certain amounts of money or a certain number of points. Those are all worth money. Stop making me look like a liar. Stop making me look like a liar. God damn it, stop making me look like a liar. Yeah, so they're worth points. And you play the cards, and you get points, and there are other letters with other abilities. And you buy those letters, add them to your deck so that you can make cards that give words that earn you more points and give you more money to buy more powerful letters, and so on and so forth. And then these all are different genres. Like that's the horror genre, this is the adventure genre, that's a romance genre. And when you play letters of the same genre in the same word, you get the special abilities below the line. So you also want to like buy into specific genres. So this is a really fun game. Oh yeah, and then there's ink and ink removers. It's all good, helpful stuff. This seems like a really solid way to play it as well. I also see. Oh, these are. Oh, I thought this was a timer when I saw it before, in the tool thing. This is a score counter. Okay. All right, bitch. I see you. I wish I knew how to press the button. Can you show me how to press the button? Do I have to zoom in? Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's a score counter. That's pretty neat. Yeah, so if it's deck builders and if you like words and books like I do, it's a lot of fun to put these together. I play this game with my friends like physically all the time, and I have it on my phone. If you're interested, it is available for iOS and Android, and the phone version is actually a really nice version of it. And this seems like this would be easy to play too. So, yeah, I highly suggest it if you like deck builders or you like games that let you make words. Some people don't like that. I have quite a number of friends actually who do not like word games. It's just not their thing, which is totally fair. I love them myself. So I downloaded that. Here's one of my favorites of all time. Okay, I'm very excited. Also, the background here is a little nauseating, but we're going to deal with it. So this is Betrayal at House on the Hill. So Betrayal at House on the Hill is a really awesome explorative game. What's the like the normal term that they do? This is another game that's been played on tabletop before too. It's like an exploratory cooperative game with a defector, meaning that you've seen the episode on that. Yeah, so it's an exploratory game with a defector, meaning you play together, you investigating this haunted house, and then at some point you'll see here you will trigger what's called the haunt by a specific room and a specific item. So then you look and you would say, okay, I triggered the dog in the gymnasium, so that's number 46. And then you look down here at number 4. I think we need to flip this to see the other side. Or not. How do I flip the pages here? Okay, that is the other page. I bet you then that is, because it's normally in, that's the Secrets of Survival for both games. This also has the Widow's Walk expansion, which is why this is a little weird. Oh, here we go. That's the rule book. Huh. I'm not sure where it is then. That's not good. I will have to play around to figure that out, but basically you can figure out, like, this will tell you. Here you go. This will tell you, like, okay, I got number 52, so the traitor is the haunt revealer, and then the traders get the trader's tome, and the other people get the survival guide, and then they read their setup, and then they go through whatever the rest of the game deems, whatever the rest of the game is. This is attractive to me because there are a ton of fiddly bits, a ton of tokens, like so many little pieces of cardboard, like so many pieces of cardboard. But this, it keeps it nice and tidy, which I kind of like. Yeah, it is a really fun game. It is very random. But yeah, so basically, you start here and you move through the house, and then like this would be the ground floor. So if you want to explore the ground floor, I don't even know where the piles are. Oh, here they are. Room stack. So this is roof, upper ground, or basement. So you can be like, okay, I'm going to do this one. Here's the panic room. And then it says, oh, there's an event. So you go over to the event stack and you pick up the event card, and it says, a moment of hope. Something feels strangely right about this room. Place a blessing token in this room. Each hero rolls one additional die on all traits while in this room. And you're like, oh, cool. So you keep on exploring the house like that, and then eventually you get to the point where somebody turns traitor, and you have to hope that whatever resources you have left to you will help you win the game. It is a lot of fun. I love it, but it does have a lot of randomness to it. And like I said, this involves the Widow's Walk expansion, which is a fun expansion, but it does not take into consideration a lot of the rules of the main game. So like, for instance, you can see here on the cards that there's a roof room. That's part of the Widow's Walk expansion. And we actually ran into a game while playing with the Widow's Walk expansion where one of the haunts involved the house flooding from floor to floor. And when it is timed based upon when it gets to the basement, the ground floor, the upper floor. So then we were like, okay, well, what about the roof? Like, how does that play into this? But there were no rules for that because that was part of the base game, and the roof is only in the Widow's Walk expansion. So we were kind of lost as to, like, how do we play with those rules with the roof? So, like, they didn't take some of that stuff into account, so it can be a little messy with the Widow's Walk expansion at times. If you ever get Tabletop Simulator, can we play Betrayal and House on the Hill together? Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I would love to get people together to play. You can play with 2 players. It is not a game that you can play by yourself. I think you need at least 2 players. But it's usually more fun with 3 or more. It has up to 6 players, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what's kind of cool about it too is, I'll show you, these are character cards with their stats. Each character card is double-sided with different stats. So there's really 12 characters, but you can play with up to 6 players. So it's a really fun game. As long as you're not too salty about the randomness of it, you will enjoy it, I think. It's a really fun game. Goodbye. I just don't know. That thing was empty, and I'm thinking that might have the original Trader's Tome in it, which is what was missing from here. I have to look into that because that's not good. I may have to download the original, because there was a version of the original without the Widow's Walk expansion that someone made. I might have to download that and see what's up with that. So that's another fun one that I downloaded. Here's another good one. This one's a good one. This game... Oh, that's a great background for this. Well done. There is a seam on the picture there, but that's all right. I won't let it ruin my immersion. Well done. This is a game called Seven Wonders. This is a card drafting type game where basically you have these wonders. They are the 7 wonders of the world. So you've got Olympia, Rhodes, Halicarnassos, Giza, Ephesus, Babylon, and Alexandria. And there's a ton of expansions for this game too, but basically everybody gets a wonder, and you get a hand full of like different things that you can build, and different cards that let you, like, you know, have different resources to build things, and you're basically building things, and it's called a card drafting game because you get your hand and you pick a card from your hand to play, and then you take your hand and you rotate it to the next person. So the strategy of the game is not just about what cards you play, it's about what cards you allow to pass on to the people around you. It's a really fun game. It is for 7 players, obviously, because there's 7 wonders. And having a full table of 7 people is ridiculously hilarious. It is so much fun. And you can or cannot build your wonder, and they'll give you all different kinds of things. Like this one just gives you straight up victory points. The point is to have the most victory points at the end of the game. This one will allow you to, like this middle one, part of the wonder lets you play a card from the discard pile, which you normally can't do. This one gives you like a free piece of science. This one gives you some, that middle one gives you some free military might. You can attack the people to the left and right of you. Does this have Risk? Yes. There were many versions of Risk that I saw in the workshop for Tabletop Simulator. I'm not a Risk player myself, but they definitely have lots of versions of Risk. So if you are a Risk fan, I know I saw Risk, and I saw Risk Legacy in there too. But you would definitely like it. So yeah, 7 Wonders is a really fun game. It's definitely silly. What's the purple cards? Oh, those are the wonder cards that let you see which wonder you get. Yeah. So it's a really fun game. And if you are interested in this game, it also comes with, well, it doesn't come with, you can download a free app on your phone that actually will help you with the setup. Like it'll randomize, you tell it how many players there are, and it'll randomize like who gets what wonder, and it can help you a little bit with that. So this is a really fun game. I really love it. It's also got a ton of expansions that also really add a lot of depth to the game. I didn't see any in the workshop for Tabletop Simulator though. I'm chatting a lot. I'm annoying. I need to have a drink of water. This is so cool. Okay, 7 Wonders. Okay, so we just saw Betrayal at House on the Hill. But if you are a Dungeons & Dragons fan, or just a fan of fantasy, oh, this is kind of a cute place to play this, you would be interested in this game. This is Betrayal at Baldur's Gate. It is Betrayal at House on the Hill, but instead of exploring a haunted house, you're exploring Baldur's Gate, which is a very famous major city from the Forgotten Realms setting of Dungeons & Dragons. This version of the game I like a lot more than Betrayal at House on the Hill. They fixed a lot of the problems that I had with House on the Hill. They made it a lot less random. They made it a lot more it's just a tighter, better game. It doesn't feel unfair as often. And I find that at moments where it does feel unfair, like if we get a haunt where it feels like the haunt is really skewed towards one side or the other, the heroes or the traitor, there's usually something involved that at some point triggers and kind of balances it out. So I feel like they did a much better job with that, and on the whole, I feel this is the best version of all of the Betrayal games. So I highly suggest it. My favorite character that I play, where is she? Who is she? Where is she? Where is she? Here she is. This is who I usually play. Not Tasha. I usually play Gretchen. And I like her because she has this ability where once per game she can turn into a form of an animal and sacrifice some points in one of her stats to gain points in another stat. And I often trigger that after the haunt is revealed and I see like what stats are really going to be important. If I'm lacking in one of them, I'll often trigger Wild Shape to use that. So each character has a special ability, and again, they're double-sided, as you just saw, which makes them really fun. What is this counting down to? Starts at 20:08. I don't know why there's a timer here. The game certainly doesn't require any timer. But anyway, yeah. I'm not going to really talk too much about it because it's basically the same exact thing as the previous game. Instead of having levels of the house, you have street tiles, building tiles, and the catacombs. And there's still, you know, omens and items and events. You can get different kinds of items, like there's a 10-foot pole, potion of healing, caltrop, shiny rock. Where's my favorite item? I actually think that it's not going to be an item, it's going to be an omen. But anybody who knows D&D knows how bad having a deck of many things is to ever have in a game of any type for any reason ever. It is a lot of fun when it comes into play. But yeah, basically D&D version of Betrayal at House on the Hill. Definitely superior. I like it a lot. And these are floating in the air. It's fun. It's just how they're not all made, I think, really to have their tables flipped. I didn't even know table flipping was a thing, and then it let me do it, and it's really fun, and it's never going to get old for me. I'm going to end every game I play on this by flipping the fucking table. It's going to be great. Okay. Here is another one that, again, I feel would be better played in person because it involves copious amounts of dice. Also love that they have the galaxy thing. This is Roll for the Galaxy. And the rules and everything are all here, which is kind of cool. But basically, this is a game where you are building, you're like terraforming planets and building space stations and stuff, and you want to be the first person to build, I think, 12 of them. And so you have a pool of dice that you can use to do different things, like develop planets, you know, like develop stuff, settle stuff. You can produce goods and ship them and sell them. And it just results in copious amounts of dice. And all the different colors have different sides of the dice on them. As you can see here, there's like a distribution of like what different dice are good for. So you just have this big, like, you know, they come with cups, the physical game, of colorful dice. And you just shake them up and roll them. And it's just so fucking satisfying. I'm telling you. Yeah, and you use these to usually hide your dice rolls. Just these dice are so fun, and they're so pretty. Ooh, these look like they're actually really well done. Oh yeah, look. Look how shiny they are. Yeah. Oh, these are some of the game tiles. And the game tiles are double-sided, depending on whether you want to settle a planet or, you know, make something out of it. It's pretty cool. I like this game a lot. There is also a game called Race for the Galaxy, which is basically the same game, but it doesn't work with dice. I think it's more completely card-based than anything. I've never played that version, but I love Roll for the Galaxy because dice. Lots of fucking dice. Also, does this have the box? Oh, it does! It has the back of the box and everything! Okay, that's pretty fucking tight, I have to say. I would have to really change the angle here, but like, they have the back of the box and everything. That's pretty fucking sick. A VP pool? Oh yeah, because there's a different pool of VP you can get depending on how many people are playing. Yeah, so this is a really fun game, and I highly suggest picking it up. Would probably be more fun physically, like I said, because of the dice, but I would say you would enjoy it. Goodbye. Oh, did it mess with this stuff is floating? The paper stuff is floating very slowly. I wonder if they mess with the gravity because it's space. I don't know. Okay, so I mentioned before in the beginning that we were going to be talking about Red Dragon Inn. This is one of my favorite games of all time. It's a really fun game. And when you come over here, this looks intimidating as fuck, and that's because it is. This is this game with every single expansion. There are a ridiculous number of expansions to this game, and they actually have a collector's box that is like the biggest game box I've ever seen. That holds everything. My brother has it. It's fucking massive. So, very simply, here's the point of Red Dragon Inn. You play a group of adventurers that has been adventuring all day and is stopped by the Red Dragon Inn to have a drink and get some sleep. Problem is, there's only one room left available in Red Dragon Inn. So, to decide who gets it, you decide to initiate a night of drinking, gambling, and various other levels of debauchery to see who's going to get the room and who has to sleep out in the stables with the horses. So the base game comes with 4 characters. Deidre the Priestess, Fiona the Volatile, Gurki the Sneak, and Zot the Wizard. And then every other expansion box comes with 4 new characters. So this is an expansion, 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 this is an expansion. And then they started adding villains that you can team up with and fight that come individually. I actually bought for Christmas, I got my brother the Adonis and the Lich King. They come together as a 2-pack. So yeah. And they all have different decks. Every character has a different deck. And the decks have different cards. And they have different things. For instance, Gurki, because he's a thief, is very good at stealing money from people and cheating at gambling. Fiona the Volatile is very good at causing people physical damage, but she gets drunk very quickly. So they all have their strengths and weaknesses. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. So it says player mat here. Where are the player mats? Oh, you pull it out and it gives you the player map. Oh, cool. Wait, so let's do this one. I want to see what comes after that. Okay, then what comes after that is all her entire deck. Okay, that's, I don't know what form cards are. There's some, okay. This is all part of, like, whatever is special that she does. Cool, so it has everything that you need stacked in here. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so basically what you do is you can play an action card which will hurt somebody or make them drunk. To show you here, basically you have your levels of alcohol and your fortitude, which is like your physical fortitude. And if your physical fortitude and your alcohol content ever meet, you pass out either from physical damage or being too drunk, usually a mixture of the two, and then you're out of the game. So there's usually there's a drink deck with drinks in the middle of the deck, and you play a card, and then you buy a drink for somebody else at the table, and then you drink a drink out of your own personal drink deck. Some of them are really, really painful. Some of them are things like drinking contests, where you can buy, this one, like, gives you 2 fortitude, but it also gives you 2 alcohol content, so it kind of just, like, you know, shifts everything. That just heals you. Water is water. Troll Swill is never good. Orcish Rotgut is never good. Coffee, we're cutting you off. Fun one. Dirty dishwater. There's a lot of things you can ingest in this game that are disgusting. But anyway, yeah, this is a really fun, simple game. I see it has a setup here for 10 people. Technically, you can play with as many people as there are character decks. But for me, I feel when it goes beyond 4 players, it really starts to get unbalanced. Because what happens is the first player takes a pot shot at somebody, and then the second player maybe will take a pot shot at that same person, and then everybody piles on that person because they're already damaged, so they figure we might as well take that guy out of the game first, and then very often that person never even gets a turn. if there's too many people, you know, they often never get a turn before they die. So the larger the group, the way more unbalanced it becomes, which is just an unfortunate side effect of the way the game is played. But I would suggest a max of 4 people, maybe 6 if you're feeling really saucy. And like I said, there are some enemies, like the Lich King, that are actually made to be fought together cooperatively as a group. So somebody could play the Lich King, and then the other people can play the heroes, and you can fight to see who wins. It's a really, really, really fun game, and the theme of it really makes me very happy. It's a really cool, just fun theme. And yeah, it's one of my absolute favorites. And this is going to look absolutely insane. Let's pull some cards out, because I really want to get a good table flip here. Let's just pull cards out. Okay. I didn't feel good about that table flip because I really love Red Dragon Inn. Goodbye, Red Dragon Inn. What is floating here? Oh, okay, that's the drink deck. Now it's falling. Goodbye, drink deck. My throat's actually starting to hurt. I'm chatting way too much. This by the way is why I don't do oh god, my brain. It's why I don't do visual novels anymore, because my throat just can't stand up to talking about this. Talking for so long. Medici! Sure. And again, another one that has a tablet with rules on it, which is kind of cool. So this is Medici. I guess this is an interesting place to play Medici. This is one of the default random ones. But Medici is basically a drafting game. Basically, you play merchants that have each have your own ship, your own boat, and there are 5 different types of goods. And at the start, somebody will draw a lot of either 1, 2, or 3 items, and then everybody takes turns and bids on them. And whoever wins the bid gets to put it in their ship. And once your ship is full, you're done, and then you kind of grade, you know, like, okay, I got 2 grain. I'm going to put, you know, so I'm going to put my grain over here. And then somebody else might be like, oh, well, he's already got grain down lock. I don't know. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna mess with dye. I got 3 dye. And then this guy's like, I don't, you know, I'm gonna go invest in dye. And you basically do this for 3 turns. It's like 3 days of shipments, and you basically go for the most points. So it is a drafting game, and it's a lot of fun because a part of the game is again, not just about what you actually bid on, but what you pass to people. You may want to make a bid on something that you know someone else really wants, just to force them to pay more, so that they want, because you use your points to also bid on stuff. So there's a lot of strategy to it. It's a really fun game. My friends and I have played many rounds of it, and my friends are all assholes, and we all rage at each other at this game, but it's a really fun game. Wait, I have to flip it. Thank you. Goodbye, Medici. It's going into the ether, just like a really bad lot that you pull in Medici goes straight into the sea. If nobody bids on a lot, then it just gets thrown out of the game. Was my reference to that. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Point Salad! Okay, I've only played Point Salad, I think, once or twice. So, Point Salad is kind of a game that makes fun of games. Point Salad is a board gaming term where it's basically a term for a game where just like everything you do earns you points, and everybody just winds up with a ridiculous amount of points at the end of the game for just like no reason whatsoever. That's often referred to as Point Salad. So somebody made a game where you literally play a game where you get points by collecting certain vegetables. Literally a point salad. Creativity in the board game world, man. Yeah, so this is... it's hard for me to kind of describe this game because this is the rule book. So if I go to state, I can actually flip the pages and read everything. But basically, oh, well, let's set up a game for like 2 players. Oh, okay, wow, yeah. See, this is what the scripting does: is it throws out the number of cards and it sets up everything. So yeah, so you'll get cards that give you points. Like for instance, this card over here gives you 3 points for every tomato you have, but -2 for every lettuce card you have. And so you want to buy stuff, and you want to buy points, but you have to be careful, because you may run into something where, you know, like if you have these 2, well, I get a point for every tomato, but this one gives me -2 for every tomato I have. So you can flip them over to use them as whatever's on the other side, or you can keep them up for points. And so your job is basically to get as many points as possible by pulling, you know, good cards that give you points and picking the correct pieces of salad that will give you lots of word salad. It's a really cute little light game. I enjoy it, and it mocks board gaming in and of itself, and I don't know what's going on over there, but something is happening. Yeah, Point Salad's kind of cool. It's a fun game. It is definitely on the lighter side, but I like me a light game. Some people don't like light games. Speaking of, here is a favorite of mine that I have not played in a very long time. This is a much more abstract game. This is a perfect setting for it. And it's going to look very weird because you're like, this is just a bunch of fucking bags. What the fuck is wrong? So this is a game called Once Upon a Time. And basically, the way that it works is, let's see. There's an ability, commoners, outsiders, DLC. Right. These are all the expansions, I believe is what those are. So basically, the point of this game is you get a bunch of cards like this that will have certain things. Like this one is an aspect. That's an aspect. These are probably all aspects at the top and then different ones as you go by there. Yeah. So then there's the characters, there's aspects, there's characters, there's locations, and you get a handful of these types of cards. See, Dr. Fat, you have a handful of these type of cards, and you also get an ending card, which will give you a type of ending that you need to have, which, again, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get one here. I don't know where the ending cards are actually here, but, basically the ending may be something like, I don't know. The ending card may say something like, and the witch realized that the only love she needed was love for herself, or, the prince and the princess lived happily ever after. Like, it'll give you a card with an ending on it, and your job is to use these cards to tell a story. So you would have to use them like, okay, one time there was a child, and the child was the illegitimate son of the king, and he didn't want anybody to know he was the illegitimate son of the king because he might have gotten assassinated, so he disguised himself as a beggar. And so you use these cards to tell the story. But if somebody has a card, like if you play this aspect disguised and somebody has an aspect card, you could go, well, actually, he doesn't need to disguise himself because he's actually really strong. And you could play that and take control of the story and then try to turn the story to your ends. Like you can see here, if after an aspect is played, interrupt. I'm sorry, yeah, you need these to interrupt. Or if somebody says a word, like you could say, okay, he dressed up as a beggar, and people thought that he was, really wimpy, but he was actually very brave. And if you have the brave card in your hand, you could be like, oh, he's brave? Well, look at that. And then you put that down, and then you continue the story. And so you're basically kind of wrestling with the rest of the players for control of the story to bring it to the specific ending on your ending card. but the story has to make cohesive sense, and you have to tell the story fluid. You can't, stop or pause and be like, like you have to be quick on your feet to tell the story. So it's a collaborative storytelling game, but you're also competing against the other players. I really love this game. It's super, super fun. There's lots of inside jokes in my group of friends that have come from this game. But if you are not somebody who enjoys storytelling or coming up with stories on the fly, you may find this game not quite to your liking. But if you love storytelling, if you love stuff like Dungeons and Dragons, and you like storytelling and stuff like that, this is a really cute, fun game to play. We're just gonna say goodbye to the story. And then the table twisted and flipped all the way down into oblivion. The end. There, I win. There's another great game like that too called Fiasco, which I looked up Fiasco on here, and they had one version of it, one story of one version of it, and I was like, lame, it doesn't really work. Oh, okay, this one's a big one. This is one of my favorite board games of all time. It is ridiculously massive. This is a game called Mansions of Madness. It is based in the Cthulhu mythos. You can see there's a lot of shit that is loading right now because this game is ridiculous. You need a phone app to play it. It's required. Oh, this is cool. It's in a black void. That is the perfect fucking way to play this game. And basically, there are specific stories, and there are tiles for different locations, and they reuse them for different stories, and you have to play through the story. So you pick a hero, you play the character, and the app will tell you, like, oh, there's I don't know, where's some of these tokens? Those are NPCs for growth. Busted wall, secret passage. I'm trying to find a good enemies. I should probably look up here, huh? This is what I'm looking for. Oh, do we actually have set up for certain characters? Oh, those are the manuals. Yeah, so these are like the map tiles. And so, you may say, like, okay, in this area of the map tile, the app will tell you there is a point of interest here that you can look into. So you could go, okay, I'm going to go look into it, and you'll hit it on the app, and the app will tell you there is a rock here. It doesn't quite look like the other rocks in the area. Do you want to try to maybe pick it up and move it and see if there's anything underneath? And it'll get you to test one of your stats, and the app will tell you if you fail or succeed. And the app basically leads you through the game, and you don't know what your objective is. You have to figure out what your objective is, and it is ridiculous. I will actually show you. I'm actually going to get up and do this. Hold on one second. And yes, I'm wearing zebra pajamas. Don't fucking at me. This is the base game. It is ridiculous. It is like thicker than my head. Look at this bitch. Look at it. It's gigantic. It's $100. That is what it is. It is $100 fucking dollars. And the reason why it is so expensive is because it comes with actual, like, creatures, Cthulhu's, and deep ones, actual statues that you put on the board, and they are very cumbersome, but they are very cool looking, and that's what makes the game so expensive. But it is massive and big and heavy, and I have almost every single expansion for it. I literally have a stack probably 4 or 5 times the height of this of just expansions. I'm looking at it right now over the side. And every expansion comes with new stories and new characters that you can play and new, you know, statues and all that kind of stuff. It is massive. It is a lot of fun. I'm not quite sure how this game would be played digitally, because you need the app. Somebody would have to be in charge of the app because the app randomizes everything. So somebody would have to be part of the app. Somebody would have to be in charge of the app and read out what the app says. But this is an expansion. I have Beyond the Threshold. I have Sanctum of Twilight. I think I also have Streets of Arkham. I think I have Streets of Arkham somewhere in there. Ooh, girl. That's a huge worm character. Yeah, see, like, these are the monsters. Temple Guardian. Okay, so that's how they do the monsters. But yeah, this is a really fun game. It probably would be a tad difficult to play digitally, but it is a really fun game. And it is very difficult. Oh my god, can I light this? Okay, how do I change the camera? Here we go. Yeah. So, yeah, really fun game. It is expensive, though. 1d20 goes. I flipped it in a rage. And there's a lot of fiddly bits with that game, too. A lot of fiddly bits. A lot. And, you know, you can get lots of damage, and you can also take hits to your sanity and go insane, at which point you draw an insanity card, and it tells you, like, you know, you can say nothing but gibberish for the rest of the game. Or I got one once where your entire goal of the game, to win the game for yourself now, is to light as many rooms on fire as you possibly can. And not only did I have a source to light fire, I was the only person with a fire extinguisher. So that did not turn out well for the rest of the group. It's a really fun game. Very difficult. Here's another light, fun game. This is Sushi Go Party. Basically, this is another drafting game where, you... Oh, that's cute. It has, like, a little sushi setup. That's cute. Look at this. It's got, like, a little sushi over here. That's adorable. Where basically you, have to make certain dishes. So this tells you, like, how much the nigiri is. And... see, like, that's like the nigiri, and then there's a bunch of different kinds of food that you can add in. Here they are. You can add, and they all have different ways that they work. Like, let me think of one that's interesting. Here we go. Here's the dumplings. So here's the dumplings, and the point of the dumplings... let me get close, is one of them gives you 1 point, having two of them gives you 3 points, having three of them gives you 6 points. So they scale up the more that you have them. And then this is the maki. And so this will show you, depending on whether you have 2 to 5 players or 6 to 8 players, the person with the most maki gets 6. And then the second most gets 3, and then nobody else gets any points. So you don't want to invest in them unless you know you're going to be one of the ones with the most. And then you have stuff like, I forgot how to... Here we go, you can do this. Stuff like this where if you have the most tamaki, you get 4 points. But if you have the least, you get -4. So you just don't want to be the person with the least amount. So they have all different kinds of abilities, and you can mix and match whichever ones you want to put in the game. And then you just go around, you have a hand, you play your card, you pass it to the next person. It's another drafting game. And you play for, I think, 3 rounds until you see who. This is so cute. Look at this. Somebody put other food down here, too. secret hidden food. I love it. This is really an adorable setup. And it's a really fun game. Sushi Go is its own game as well, but Sushi Go Party is made for larger groups, and we have a pretty big board gaming group, so my friend got Sushi Go Party. Because it can handle a lot of people. And that was why I downloaded that as well. It's a really fun one. Highly suggest. Those are backgrounds, so we only have one more left, I think. Azul. This is the last one. This is all she wrote, Queens. Oh, also, I'm late to take my allergy pill. I should do that after stream. Okay, so this is Azul. Azul is a really kind of fun... That's not really an abstract game, but it is very abstract in its visual appearance. So basically, what the point of this game is you have these circles, and they have these tiles on them, and you have to take all the tiles that are in a specific circle. Let me grab this circle. Oh, you're gonna... Okay. Well, anyway. Let me bring this... Alright, here. Yeah, let's bring these over here. Come here. Thank you. So I can demonstrate. So, what we could do, for instance, is like if these were all in the same circle, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to grab this one. I have to take all three of these. So I could be like, okay, I'm going to put these two here, and I'm going to put this one over here. And then once all of the pieces, the tiles are gone, you score. So this row requires 1, this row requires 2. So like, if I had this here, I can't score this until I get 2 more of these blue ones. But like this one's here, so I could score that, and I've got 2 here, so I score that, and then this one gets tossed. And then this one has to stay here, and it carries over to the next round, and if I can manage to get 2 more of these, then I can score this here. But if you get too many, they go down here, and you start getting negative points. But for every row you complete, you get 2 points. For every column, you get 7, and then you get 10 points if you can get everyone in every row. So like if I managed to score these yellow tiles in every single row, then I would get extra points. So it's a really interesting kind of drafting game, and there's really interesting ways to screw people up, and it's a really super fun game. That's a very, very broad explanation for it. There's a lot of other very important rules to it, but this is a game that quickly became a lot of fun for me to play. And I actually kind of want to pull more tiles out of the bag. Oh my god, I was going to say I'm going to pull them all out, but there's like 90 something, and I'm not going to pull out 90 something of them. But I'm just going to pull out as many as I feel like I can handle, because I want to see them all get flipped. But yeah, that was a bunch of my favorite board games that I was able to find on Tabletop Simulator. I have a couple of others that I downloaded that are available on Steam. I recently got 3 of them. I got Sagrada, which just came out, which is a really cool dice game where you roll dice and you have like your own little map of like a stained glass window. And depending on the color or the number that you roll, you can place them in different parts of your little map, and each map of stained glass window is based off of a piece of the stained glass windows in the Sagrada Familia. So it's a really, really beautiful game. Tons and tons of dice for you to roll, which, as I said before, I love me some dice, so it makes me very happy. What else did I buy? I bought Mysterium, which is a really interesting game where you play psychics and somebody plays a ghost, and you're trying to figure out who killed them, and everybody is seeing a vision of a person, a place, and a murder weapon, and the ghost is trying to explain to you which person, place, and murder weapon you're seeing, but the only way they're allowed to communicate with you are through this stack of cards with different pieces of art on them. It is really fun and really difficult. I actually think I am going to pull out all 90-something of these. Holy shit. This is just a fucking mess. So that's a really fun game. And what was the third one that I got? I got Sagrada. I got Mysterium. Oh, fuck. Hold on one second. Actually, you know what? I could probably look in my email. Whoa. Excuse me. Thank you for your Steam purchase. I got Mysterium. Oh, and I got Istanbul, which is a really fun game where you're in you're in Istanbul and you could travel to different parts of Istanbul, like merchant areas and different temples, and there's a bunch of different ways that you can earn like gems, and you have to earn a certain amount of, be the first person to earn a certain amount of gems, and it's a really fun game. And that's also on Steam, and I picked it up, and I highly suggest that you try it. This is the first player token. Let's get some of these out of here. Yeah, okay, so. That was a very unsatisfying table flip. I did all that work, and it just kerplunked. That was very unsatisfying, and I don't like it. I could have just been doing this the whole time. I'm dumb. Anyway, yeah, so that is the games that I have so far here on Tabletop Simulator. I highly suggest all of them. They're all a lot of fun. Not quite sure about whether they're, super playable in Tabletop Simulator, like I said, but they are a ton of fun, and I highly recommend. And I thought this would be kind of a fun thing to do in a video to make, because, we're all stuck inside, and it might be fun to have some stuff to do to pass the time. So I highly suggest that you pick some of those up. It's a fun time, and I think that you would really have a lot of fun with those games, and they could be fun stuff to do with your family to get you through all the craziness that is going on in the world right now. So that is stream. That is the end of the stream, my friends. Those are my favorite board games. I would love to get some of my friends to play on stream with me someday. I'd love to play with you guys in the community. So feel free to stop by the Discord, come chat, come hang out. If you have Tabletop Simulator, come talk about your favorite board games. Maybe we could play some fun stuff together sometime. But yeah, that is it for now. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. I need to go rest my voice right now. I feel like my throat's about to give it out. But thank you guys so much for hanging out and watching. And I will see all of you very soon. Have a lovely evening.